Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Black. I'm from a company called Vizrt, based in Bergen, Norway. So you're getting back-to-back Norway here today. Lucky for you. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the metaverse and what it actually means to content producers, people that are creating content for online, for television, for the web. We're going to take a look at a few different techniques that are being used today and how they're going to be evolving as we move further and further into what people would be considering in the metaverse. I'm going to be talking about a few things. First off, I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to Vizrt, who we are. And then we're going to take a quick glance at visual human connections, where we have come as a society. We'll talk about the metaverse. But then actually, more crucially, we're going to go and talk about AI in the media industry. Because the metaverse and AI in the media industry, they all go hand in hand, as I'm going to show you in a few minutes. And then we'll take a look at what is possible for the future. So first things first, let's get started. Let's take a look. I'm from a company called Vizrt, and Vizrt is a software company, very simple. But we create digital solutions for broadcasters. We are the company that builds the graphics tools and the live production tools that you see in major broadcasters all over the world, including NBC, Al Arabia, BBC News, CNN. The underpinnings of these broadcasters is software that is created by Vizrt. And we are also one of the first pioneers of the idea of the metaverse. We've been working in VR and augmented reality since the early 90s. We were founded by TV2 in Norway, and we first went on the air with a live virtual set in 1997. And since then, we've had consistent growth through acquisition and innovation, building more and more live production tools for broadcasters and the media storytellers. And of course, we're a global company now. Of course, we started off as a small little company in a tiny town of Bergen, Norway. And now we are all over the world with 24/7 support, world-class graphics, and we have hundreds of thousands of customers all over the world. But let's talk about human connections, where we came as a society and how we are actually building more and more stories in the future. Now, what we're doing here at this conference is what we've been doing for centuries. We're getting together, we're talking, we're sharing ideas, we're spreading knowledge. And ever since, early cave paintings, all the way through different types of innovation of storytelling to the internet, that's the same idea. The idea hasn't changed. It's just a way we're delivering that idea. Now, my timeline I created here stopped at the internet because we're still in this period here of the internet, and we're not going to be moving from it for very more in the future. I mean, the internet, of course, is allowing us to do search, video streaming, connect business, finance, talk to each other, have those communications, play games. But then there's this idea of the metaverse. And there's a perception that maybe the metaverse and the internet are two different things. Well, the metaverse, the idea of the metaverse was first coined in a book, Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash in 1992. Great book if you haven't read it. If you love science fiction, I recommend it. But the idea of the metaverse from there was the concept of a highly immersive virtual world where people gather to socialize, play, and work. Basically, a big VR game that you're going into, and that becomes your entire life. And that's what a lot of people still think the metaverse is, or what the metaverse should be. But it's not really. What we actually consider as the metaverse is an extension of the internet. It is taking all the aspects of the internet that you have today and then merging it in with the real world so that you start taking these concepts of gaming, of finance, search, video streaming, and bringing them in as part of your day-to-day life. So not only are you looking at this on your phone or you are looking at this on your laptop, this becomes a tool that you're using while you're at the grocery store, when you're at the doctor's office. It is enhancing your world with more immersive technology. So let's take a closer look at the metaverse. And there's a number of companies that are working with the metaverse right now who are talking about it actively. And these are some of the biggest ones. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, of course. NVIDIA, GPU manufacturer, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet. Alphabet is the parent company of Google. Now, one thing also a lot of these companies have in common is in the last year or so, there's been a lot of news about their financial difficulties, and by letting go a lot of people. 11,000 over at Meta, 18,000 at Amazon, 10,000 at Microsoft. And I actually, a friend of mine works for Alphabet, and I was talking to her about this presentation earlier, and I was asking, you know, these 12,000 people being let go at Alphabet, how is that impacting your work that you're doing to build the metaverse, to build this infrastructure that the metaverse needs to exist? He says, well, actually, those people were not working on those types of projects. What they're really focusing on now is they're focusing in on the core of the technology that they're building, and by getting rid of some of these people that are not necessarily focused on that core is giving them more flexibility to really focus on what they feel is important for the future. NVIDIA, GPUs. GPUs are going to be extremely important for building out what we consider the metaverse. This is the tool that you use to be able to visualize graphics. Amazon, cloud. Microsoft, cloud. Alphabet, cloud. Cloud is the underpinning of what will be the metaverse, or what we're going to be doing with the internet. And then one other core technology that they're all putting a lot of resources towards, AI. So we're going to talk a little bit about AI. So AI and the metaverse are coming together to be able to allow us to create the content that we need. When we start having a much more visual world, a much more immersive world, you need a lot more content. And AI is helping fill some of that content. In fact, if you think about AI today, there's a lot of course, news going on about some of these tools that are out there, such as OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and DALL-E 2, Midjourney. These are examples of generative AI. These are AIs that create content for you. So, for instance, I've got this definition of generative AI here. It's a type of artificial intelligence that creates new data and content, including audio, code, images, text, simulations, and videos based on existing examples using deep learning techniques. I'm going to step out of the way for this slide for a second. Saturday, I was skiing with some friends. I decided to make this slide, so I had an AI make this slide entirely for me. I didn't do anything here. I just asked an AI, I want to have a slide on AI in the metaverse, and this is what it made. Not too bad. I really like the picture. But that gives you a little example of what is actually possible with generative AI. You just type in what you want, just an idea. I need to have these aspects of it, and it created that for me. It also created this nice little image over here for me. But we're going to take a look at what AI means for broadcasters. Vizrt has been working with artificial intelligence for a long time. We have 2 artificial intelligence R&D centers, one in Switzerland and now a new one that we're starting up in Norway. So we're putting a lot of focus on this to be able to help broadcasters be able to generate content more efficiently, but also be able to generate more value for the content that they're creating. So let's take a look at an example here. This is motorsports. NASCAR is a race that we have in the United States. Take a look at this icon that's coming up over the car there. That is being generated by AI. It is in real-time object tracking. It recognizes the car immediately. It places the logo on top of the car, and so the viewers at home can always see the car that they're watching. They get data from that, so we can have live data tied to that, and it just adds more entertainment for the viewers. It allows them to see at a glance what is happening on the race, and it's being done completely by AI. In fact, what we're using here, and I'm just going to blind you with some algorithms here. We're using a convolutional neural network, YOLO 2 actually, to be precise. And the thing about YOLO 2 and using these types of neural networks is they are extremely fast. This entire process of being able to recognize the image of a real-time video is happening in about 4 frames. And it's looking at this, each thing saying, it's trained for it. Is it a person? Nope. Is it a plane? Nope. Is it a car? Yes. And it does this in less than a second. So 1 second of video is around 2997 frames, and we're doing this in 4 frames, which makes it real-time video. And then for the operator, it basically looks like this. As soon as they start the software, the AI already recognizes the cars. And then the operator can choose to add a label to the car if they want, or they can have the AI automatically add the label to the car. Once they go into the live video, the labels can have rules on them so they never collide. If they can get further or further away or closer, they can get bigger or smaller, or even disappear if the cars disappear. So that's it. Really, really, really easy to use. And we have to train these. So for instance, this one we used 2,200 images. We took 2,200 images of cars, ran it through the simulation, trained it up, and now we have a system that is actually doing this all in real time for us. And we can do this with other sports. So we have the AI trained for many, many sports. And so this was skiing 2 weeks ago, I think. And here we have the AI doing object tracking on the player, on the skier. We have the live data coming into the graphics. And then we're also using another AI to be able to recognize the cuts between cameras. So as we go from camera to camera, the AI is automatically retracking the person and applying the graphics. So the operator has done nothing. They just said go right when the person went out there, and there we have it. Now, the great thing about this is it's a non-intrusive workflow. It's all software-based. So that means that we don't have to be at every single event. You can have all the inputs coming from your live event anywhere in the world, coming straight to the production center in Riyadh, and then sending it out to your viewers, wherever they are. And so you can have multiple sports from all over the world coming into your production center in Riyadh, and then having the AI apply the object tracking, adding more value to your content, and then exporting out that to any platform that you want, be it on the television, on your phone, or in your virtual environment. And so with this, we're adding virtual elements to the studio, or to the video. Now, I'm going to talk about keying here for a second, because keying is extremely important for being able to understand how you bring content into the metaverse. And this is my very, very serious keying look, because I'm very passionate about keying, as you can see here. Now, what keying is basically compositing 2 images based upon a difference value. So the difference value here is the green screen that we're replacing with this background here.
هنا مع شيء آخر مختلف، وإذا أردت أن تكون شيء حقيقي في العالم حقيقي، بالتالي أو شيء يفترض في العالم حقيقي ينبغي أن تبدل أشياء حقيقية بأشياء افتراضية. وبالتالي نحن دعوني أخبركم عن بعض الأمثلة. أين يحدث هذا الآن مثل اليوم؟ دعونا ننظر في هذه المباراة. مثلا هناك مباراة نفس اللعبة. انظر هنا إذا الصورة التي نراها من السلم. دعونا انظر إلى هذه الأشياء. هنا هذه الجهة هنا نحن نغير في الواقع في وقت حقيقي خلال اللعبة. بالتالي إذا نفس اللعبة تقدم لنا في الرياض، يمكن أن تقدم لنا نفس ما يحدث في نفس الوقت. إذا كانت المباراة تحدث في دبي نراها هنا في الرياض. بالتالي إذا هناك حركة الناس وحركة اللاعبين وحركة، وبالتالي نستطيع إذا نغير هذا اللوحات العالمية دون ما أن تلاحظ ذلك أنت. إذا هذا هو ما هو الكير. هنا نقوم نحن هنا بأشياء مختلفة في أنواع مختلفة من الملاعب والرياضات. نقوم مثلا بالكولر كير أو المفتاح الملون. بالتالي اليدوي هذا هو ليس واضحا، وبالتالي إذا غيرنا ينبغي عليك أن تذهب بيدك، ولكن هنا يصبح التغيير عن طريق الذكاء الاصطناعي. إذا رأينا إلى هذا فنرى هنا من هذا الألعاب.
We even have the harsh lighting conditions in the afternoon coming in a minute here, and you have that perfect key every time. And again, no manual intervention. This is just something that the AI gets it right immediately and would go on with working on the match.
وليس بطريقة يدوية.
To show you more that this isn't anything about green, this is a basketball court. So very, very hard conditions, lots of movement, lots of flashing lights, brown colors ground, yet we're still able to key over, dragging in all of these ads. So all of these ads are virtual. Whoops. There. And we have some data being applied there as well. And so what we're doing is using a number of different techniques. We're using the AI to detect the players. We're using another AI to be able to cut out the players. We're using an AI to be able to swap between the cameras and do that camera recognition. And then we're using an AI to do automatic tracking of the different ads that we're placing on the pitch or on the court, all at the same time. So as we get better and better at this, we're going to be able to apply these same techniques to real-world environments. And we're already experimenting with this now. This is my office in Bergen, where I'm standing in this green screen every day, shooting videos. It's big, it's green, it's boring. I really love traveling and getting out of that green screen. And so we want to be able to take all the things that I'm doing in that green screen and do them in the real world. And that's what we're doing now, is we're taking this capability here of, and here's a proof of concept where we set up a camera in Wales, we've got a busy street in the background, and then we're able to actually put real-time graphics behind the person, me in this case, in real time without having to do any extra work. We're also doing facial recognition, so all the graphics come up with the right name and having that applied in real time. So what we're doing now is using AI to combine the virtual worlds in the real world. And this is in turn combining what we would think of as the metaverse in the future. That combination of real and virtual, the internet, all the information that you're getting on a day-to-day basis, and applying that to your life on a day-to-day basis. So the metaverse does change our world by merging our digital worlds in the real world. But it's also creating new media opportunities. It's creating new opportunities for you to be able to create different kinds of content that is monetized in different ways and be able to reach different audiences. So these new audiences, things like with NASCAR, which has a very old audience in the United States, they're getting re-engaged now because they're using the virtual graphics. The idea of those virtual graphics enhancing and giving them more information, turning it more into a game experience, is adding a younger and younger audience to the NASCAR experience. And it's enhancing our existing media. We're taking all of these things that we've been creating in the past and adding more data to it, giving our audience more of what they want to see. So that's me. If you want to get in touch, there's my QR code. You can scan that and get in touch with me. If you have any questions, I've got plenty of time, so please. Any questions?
Thank you, Chris, for your presentation. It was awesome. I have a question. My question is, are we in beginning of the metaverse? I mean, in the world, or Europe, or Middle East? What about the current situation of the metaverse now?
Yeah, so there is an idea of what the metaverse is. And what we don't know yet is, when do we actually say that we've reached the metaverse? It could be 5 years, 10 years, depending on what your definition of the metaverse is. But what is most important about the idea of the metaverse is the innovation that is coming along while we work to get ourselves there. So I would say that if your idea of the metaverse is a completely immersed virtual world mixed with the real world, we're not there yet. We are probably 10 years, 5, 10 years out, depending on who you ask. But I think we're seeing new enhancements every year that are bringing us closer and closer and closer. And all those little enhancements, they might be invisible to you and me, but there's the little things that come together cumulatively to become the metaverse that we'll see in a few years. So I think we're halfway there.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris. Good talk. Thank you very much. It drew my attention that you keep saying, however you want to define metaverse, which in a strategic way is a problem for me. I don't know how can I get involved with this new technology. I don't know, as a communication professional who is working in the media, I'm not sure how can I get involved in the metaverse and utilize the opportunities that are available. So how can we define metaverse in order to actually utilize it?
That's a good question, because I went to a metaverse conference in the Nordics November, and we had Facebook there, we had Google there, we had Microsoft there, and we had a bunch of other small companies that are all saying that they're working towards a metaverse. All of them had a different definition. And that's the key about it. And yeah, I mean, I showed you two different definitions here. And you know, at Vizrt, our idea of the metaverse is not just virtual reality. If you talk to Facebook, it's more about virtual reality, and we're thinking it's more of merging the internet and the idea of what you have with the internet with augmented reality and the real world. And so we want to see the virtual world and the real world coming together so that you're not just experiencing the virtual graphics when you're sitting at home on your computer with VR goggles. You're experiencing it when you're going to the doctor, when you're driving to the grocery store. It's enhancing your everyday life, every moment of your day.